Hello everyone. Green Line, in collaboration with Know Your Surroundings, brings to you a webinar series on no waste. We welcome you all to the first webinar of the series.
So today we have with us our very own Miss Prakriti Bagdi. She's a program assistant at Greenline, and more than being a program assistant in Greenline, she is a very eco-conscious human being, and she has found her roots starting in sustainable livelihood and living in sustainable lifestyle. And she started practicing a year ago on low waste living. And with that, she's here with us to give a small experience of her bioenzyme, going through bioenzyme and how she prepared it, and what experience she had on a personal level, and how all of us at our home can prepare that. So over to you, Prakriti. And before that, please, one more time, I'm requesting everyone to keep their mics and their videos off. Yeah.
Thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you. So, a very, very warm welcome to every one of you all present here. Firstly, I would like to thank you all for taking 1 hour from your life and dedicating it to our environment, because you all are here to learn and know what bioenzyme is and how you can take a step towards reducing your waste and using it for a better purpose. So, a big thank you to all of you all. Uh, yeah, I will share my screen and then we'll start with the presentation. I hope everyone can see the presentation. You all can comment in the chat box. I will know that way.
Yes, Prakriti, we can see. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's begin. So we are all here today to, learn what bioenzyme is and how we can prepare this. Firstly, the question comes in our mind, why should we change our the cleaners which we're using day to day? Why should I change that? Because I don't have to invest a lot of time and energy into it. I have to just go and buy from the market and use it directly. So the point here is the cleaners which we get in the market, they are loaded with chemicals. First of all, they pollute our environment. They pollute our water bodies, our soil, and even our air to an extent. We'll see that how later on. Next, uh, because we are in direct contact with these cleaners, they harm us. And here are the few ways you will see how these chemicals and cleaners harm us. So this on this page you can see there are common chemicals which are present in any cleaner which we buy. So we have perfumes, we have phosphates, we have ammonia, sulfates, trichlorosin, all of these. Now so I'll talk about the common one which we all have at home. This is not to defame any brand, but since I have used this personally and I know I can share my experience with it, that's why I'll mention about Harpic. So if you check the ingredients of any cleaner, they will have these 2 3 chemicals always. One is hydrochloric acid. Now this is a very, very strong acid. Next we will have chloride, we will have ammonia, we'll have toluene. So these are some chemicals which are present in our cleaners, and if we go and read up about all these, we will realize that somewhere down the line they do harm us. Either they will irritate our skin, or over a period of time we might develop allergies through it or have breathing issues because of the smell of it. Now example I'll give of Harpic only. behind the bottle of Harpic, it's clearly mentioned that, if it falls on your hands, or if you splash that in your eyes, it might irritate, and in such cases wash it with water, or even contact a doctor. So these are the cleaners which we're using day to day, and indirectly they harm us. They harm our kidney, our liver, even our nervous system. There are studies over it where they say that our organs are also affected by constant exposure of these. So this is one of the major reasons why we can switch to using natural cleaners. Now, the alternative is a bioenzyme. नाउ व्हेन वी योर बायोएंजाइम, दिमाग में एक ही बात आती है कि बायोएंजाइम. सो द थिंग इज, दिस इज नॉट एन एंजाइम इन एनी वे. इट इज called that way. It got its name as bioenzyme, but it is not an enzyme. It's actually a cleaning agent. All right, so let's see how we can make it. It's very, very simple. All of these ingredients are present in our house. We have jaggery in our house, that is your good. So we need one part of jaggery. It can be powdered jaggery or the solid ones which we get. Now, instead of jaggery, we can also use brown sugar. But make sure you do not use the refined sugar which we normally use in our day to day lives. Prefer using jaggery or brown sugar. Next, we need citric peels. Now, what are citric peels? That is your peels of lemon, orange, your pineapple, mosambi. These are all citric peels. Now, generally, when we use these fruits and fruits, or even lemon, we discard the peel. And even while we are composting, it's recommended not to add the citric peels in our compost, because it can change the pH of the compost and might lead to, the compost not being prepared well at the end. Or if there are earthworms, they will die because of the citric peels and all. So instead of throwing them away, we can save them and use the citric peels to prepare this bioenzyme. Next, we need 10 parts of water. Now, this water needs to be tap water. We don't have to use any filtered or RO water, just your basic tap water is required. And lastly, this is completely optional. This is only to enhance the process, or fasten the fermentation process while we prepare bioenzyme, that is yeast. Now, yeast we have to use in very, very moderate amount, because if we use excess of it, we can, have little problem at the end. I will show you what can be some minor problems because of excess of yeast in our bioenzyme. I hope this much is clear to everyone. And one more thing, if you all are noting down points, y'all can note down the points if you wish to, but otherwise I have prepared a very short document on bioenzyme. That's a quick recipe. I will share that with you all on the group after the webinar. So y'all don't even need to write much about this. I will share the document with you. All right. So moving ahead. Now, this is the ratio which we always need to remember. 1 is to 3 is to 10. That means we will require 1 part of jaggery, 3 parts of citrus peels, and 10 parts of water. Now, either you can measure it using a weighing scale, or you can also measure it using any container like a small bowl, or a small any measuring cup or anything. Just make sure whichever measuring container you use, that is constant for measuring all the three ingredients. Then to make the bioenzyme, we will be preparing that in a plastic container. Now, this plastic container has to be airtight. No holes should be present on the container, and also the lid should form. The lid should be firm on the container. Make sure you use a plastic container and not a glass or a metal container. That's because the whole of the ingredients in this will they will ferment, and we don't want that whatever fermentation process is happening, that can either corrode the metal if you're using any metal container, or in case of glass container, uh, whatever ingredients are there, that they even release gases over a period of time while fermenting. So the any glass container might crack, and there can be chances of any accident happening. So always use a plastic container for preparing bioenzyme. Now let's see how we can prepare the bioenzyme. It's really simple. Firstly, take 10 parts of your water in the container and add the jaggery into it. Dissolve the jaggery properly in the water, because if you don't dissolve it, there'll be lumps in it, and uh, it'll take time to ferment otherwise. So dissolve the jaggery properly in the water, and after that you add all the citric peels that you have. Now if you're preparing the mixture in a container which is like a plastic bottle, your Bisleri bottle, you will have to cut the peels into smaller pieces. But if you're using a container which has a wide mouth, you can simply pop in the peels and it's good to go. Now after adding all the three, water, jaggery and your citric peels, next we will close it and store it in a dry place. It's also preferred, to prefer to store this in a dark place, because we don't want any direct sunlight or any form of light or any rapid fluctuations in temperature hampering the process of fermentation. So I usually prefer to keep it in a cabinet in the kitchen, or even under the sink we can keep the container. Do not refrigerate the bioenzyme container, and also do not keep it outside in your window sill where direct sunlight falls on it. So this is a very very important thing which we need to do. uh, from the day we make the bioenzyme, 10 to 15 days after that, we have to open the lid of the container every day for a minute or two to release all the gases that have been formed in that container during the process of fermentation. And again, close the lid of the container properly and keep it away in the same place where it was placed before. Now you have to do this for 2 weeks, because during the initial days the gas formation in the container is more. Now after 15 days, you can reduce the frequency of opening the container to maybe on alternate days or 2 3 times in a week, depending on the how much gas has been formed in the container. And after 3 months, after 1 month, you have to open it once or twice a week. That is more than enough, because the production of gas reduces over time. Now the point is, if we do not add yeast to our bioenzyme, it will take 3 months, full 3 months, for the whole process of fermentation to complete. And by the end of the third month, our bioenzyme will be ready. But you know, we think why should I wait for 3 months? It's a really really long time, and that is the reason to fasten the process. We can simply add little bit of yeast to it. Now I had mentioned earlier, don't add more than 2 or 3 pinches of yeast. If you're making really really small quantity of bioenzyme, add 1 pinch of yeast. That is more than enough for the fermentation process to start. Then after the bioenzyme is ready, the question is, as a first time user, how will I know when it is ready? So firstly, after either 30 days or after 90 days, whichever, with or without yeast, most of the pulp in the container will settle down and it will separate from the liquid. And the second most important thing what happens is, there will be zero gas formation in the container. The moment you have noticed that there is no gas formation for maybe a week or so, that means your bioenzyme is ready. But it will take 90 days. Definitely it will take 90 days after, if you're making the bioenzyme without using yeast. So this is how we can know that yes, the bioenzyme is ready. Now this is how it looks. The first picture shows that there are peels in the container, and then after filtering we get a clear liquid like this. The point is, a very very important point here is when we are making the bioenzyme and adding all the ingredients in the container, we have to make sure that at least 15 to 20% of space is left empty at the top. In the first picture you will see almost half of my bottle is empty. Now this is because a lot of gases are formed during fermentation, and that those gases need space. So that is the reason we use plastic, because plastic can expand a little bit, and that much space is required for uh, all the materials in the uh, bottle. Now let's see how we can use it. Firstly, we will filter out the pulp and store the liquid in another container. The liquid is actually our bioenzyme, and before using, it's always recommended to dilute the liquid and use it. But in case of any tough stains, we can use the bioenzyme liquid directly and clean the surface of the stain. It helps in quick cleaning. Now, here is a quick thing. Every time we can't keep on adding yeast, or we can't wait for 3 months for making bioenzyme. So the thing is, after you've made your first batch of bioenzyme, the old pulp which was left behind, take some of the old pulp and use it as a starter culture to make the next batch of bioenzyme. In the next batch of bioenzyme also, you will require all the three things: your jaggery, the citrus peat, and water, and a little bit of the old pulp. This will accelerate the process, and the next batch will be ready in 1 month, or max to max 45 days. The next batch of bioenzyme will be ready. So this is it's a chart I have prepared on how we can use the bioenzymes. These are very few uses of bioenzyme I've mentioned in this chart. Now, for different purposes, we dilute the bioenzyme in different ratios. For example, for cleaning our tiles or the kitchen sink, or the glass windows, we can dilute the bioenzyme in 1:10 ratio. That means 1 part of bioenzyme in 10 parts of water. We can even use this for mopping. So bioenzyme will replace the phenyl or the Lysol, any liquid which we add to the water, to clean our floors. Just add half a cup of bioenzyme and half bucket of water, and you're good to go. And this is the best thing, that bioenzyme helps to repel the insects, majorly cockroaches, ants. So it will not kill your insects, but over a period of time, with constant and regular use, people have observed that they there are less insects near the place where the bioenzyme is used. Now, bioenzyme can also be used to clean our fruits and vegetables. uh, I've been watching, and due to COVID and all, if you all have noticed, a lot of advertisements come on the television saying that use this veggie cleaner, add it to your water, and clean your vegetables using this. It'll kill all the germs and bacteria. We can simply replace that with bioenzyme. Add uh, 1 or 2 spoons of bioenzyme in water, and you can clean your vegetables. Same with your cars. We can clean our cars using bioenzyme, and it doesn't cause harm. But make sure you always dilute the bioenzyme, because otherwise it is very very strong to directly use on surfaces like that. Now, uh, it can also be used for cleaning vessels. For vessels, what I have been trying this. I'm not using on regular basis, but my reviews on this are very good. Like, my experience is great on using bioenzyme as a cleaner for cleaning the vessels. What I do is I take bioenzyme, and I take equal quantity of soap nut water. Now, soap nut is also called as Rita in our local Hindi language. I prepare soap nut water, and I mix that with equal quantities of bioenzyme, and I can use it to clean my vessels and all. The best part about it is, after it cleans very quickly, doesn't leave any stain back. If we use those soap, or the bars and all, we tend to have some residue over our vessels if not washed properly. Bioenzyme, it will not leave any residue behind, And also while washing it off, because there is less amount of foam in this whole process, less water is required to wash off the bioenzyme. So in this way we can also save the amount of water we use for just cleaning our vessels. uh, so there are few other ways you can use the bioenzyme. You can simply pour it down the drain to unclog your drain. That can also be used as as for cleaning your laundry. You can take one part of bioenzyme and mix it in 4 parts of soap nut water, that is a Rita water, and you can clean your you can wash your clothes using this. Next, as a hand wash, I have tried using this as a hand wash, but then I personally did not like it. But it's always, you know, how much the more you try, the more you learn and what is suitable for you. This is a very, very good pest control for plants. But always make sure you dilute the bioenzyme to a very, very high ratio before using on plants, because the liquid is highly concentrated. So uh, the ratio is normally 1 is to 100, which means one part of the bioenzyme liquid to 100 parts of water. And it can also be used to fertilize the plants in our garden. That here again it is preferred to dilute it. So if you are using it as a if you plan to spray the bioenzyme on your plants, make sure you dilute it more than 1 is to 500 ratio. Otherwise it can burn the leaves if we don't dilute it, or it's not proper. So for using on plants, always dilute to a very, very high ratio and see how your plants react to it. Now, we've seen how to use the bioenzyme liquid. Let's look how we can use the pulp also, because in the whole process nothing goes waste, trust me. Now, first thing is the pulp. You can grind the pulp and use it to clean the toilet. I have personally been using the pulp to clean my toilets, and it is amazing. I have stopped using Harpic or even any detergent to clean my toilet. I simply add the pulp and my toilet is clean. We can even use it to clean our kitchen sink. Add the pulp and a little bit of baking soda, and we can unclog the drains also with the help of the pulp. Next, if you don't want to use the pulp, you can squeeze out the excess water from the pulp and put it in a compost. It will compost naturally. So this way we don't even need to throw it away. Next, we can dilute and use for the plants, but here again, since it's the pulp, you'll have to dilute that to a very, very high ratio, that is maybe 1 is to 1000 ratio. So I prefer to clean my toilet or my kitchen sink with it. In that much process, my pulp is over. So that is it. And lastly, always make sure to save some amount of bioenzyme to prepare the next batch, because that will accelerate the process and the next batch will be ready in 1 month only. If not, you can discard the pulp in the wet waste bin. That is the last option, but I don't do that. So that's the last option if you don't compost or something like that. Now, here are a few tips I would like to share with you all. Firstly, while you're preparing bioenzyme, always leave some amount at the top for the gases to collect. Otherwise, when you start releasing the gas from the container, all the mixture will come out. First tip. Second tip is the if you feel that the uh, bioenzyme is not good, or something wrong, there's something wrong in the container, simply add little amount of jaggery to it, and close the lid tightly and keep it away for a week or two. It will come back to normal state. But there are times, when there's a black layer formed on top of the bioenzyme. Now, if that happens, that means the process did not happen in the correct way and there is some contamination in the bioenzyme. So at that point, simply discard that whole container. But if you see a white layer being formed at the top of your container during the process, it is completely okay. Just mix the container well mix all the ingredients well, and it is completely yeah. So the white layer means that yeast has been automatically formed in the container. Yes. Now moving on, few advantages are: it is safe to use, there is no harmful chemicals present in the bioenzyme. Actually, the end product of bioenzyme is a mixture of the its majority of alcohol and vinegar sort of a content is the end product, with a few other contents like some proteins and other. They're present in very very minor amounts. Majority it's alcohol and vinegar. So it's recommended not to use bioenzyme or on marble floors, because that might react with the marble and corrode the marble. So don't use bioenzyme on the marble floor. Next, it improves the air quality. Now, while when I make the bioenzyme, or after I've recommended to so many people, everyone says that it has a very very pleasant smell. So firstly, it replaces we don't even have to add any flavoring agent to it. And secondly, since we the moment we start using bioenzymes, we will stop using the chemical cleaners. And majority of the chemical cleaners, they have VOCs, that is a volatile organic compounds. Now they go into our air and pollute the indoor air. There have been research which says that the indoor air quality is 5 times bad than the outside air. So definitely one of the reason for bad air quality can also be the chemical cleaners which we use in our houses. Next is the cost. To prepare the bioenzyme, the cost incurred is almost next to zero. We only need some amount of jaggery, which I'm sure doesn't cost, that isn't that expensive as much as the cleaners are. So it is very very, it's an inexpensive cleaner, I would say. And all the waste material is being used into preparing the bioenzyme, so that way we don't even pollute our landfills. Next, it's very convenient to use because, you know, in the market today we have number of products for for different purposes. For cleaning the glasses, we have different cleaner. For the floors, we have a different cleaner. For toilet, we have a different cleaner. And to clean the bathroom, we have another one. So, उतना इतना सारा use करने से अच्छा might as well just have one cleaner and just change the ratio for using for different purposes. And lastly, it has a positive impact on the environment. And the best part about bioenzyme is it does not have an expiry date. The bioenzyme can last for years and years. You can store it for 10 to 20 years also. So that is like the best one. You can produce in bulk and just keep it in the, store it. You're good to go. You don't even need to refrigerate the bioenzyme. Just for storing the pulp, uh, it's good to refrigerate and store it, otherwise it might attract flies and all, but that's it. Now this is my personal experience. I have used to clean my faucets, and I just sprayed some concentrated bioenzyme to clean the stains, the tough stains, and the results you can see in front of yourself. So yeah, we also have a few reviews from the people who have prepared bioenzyme in the past. And I am not saying that you completely replace all your cleaners uh, in one go and start using bioenzyme. You can start by replacing one cleaner at a time, and while you prepare and all of that, you will discover more and more different uses of it. So yes, these are the few references. I will share these links on the group so you all can refer it. Next, this is I found very motivating, so I have shared it with y'all. Today, all of you all have learned how to prepare the bioenzyme. You all are conscious that yes, we can replace the normal cleaners which we have, but the point here is that it is on us when to start, and taking that first step is the most important step. So yeah. Also, it's time that we all become a conscious consumer. We, as a consumer, know what we buy, and most importantly, ask yourself a few questions: what, why, how, when, before buying any product available in the market. And lastly, buy only what you need. During the whole COVID lockdown, I'm pretty sure we have realized the necessities in our life and the luxury. So we know that we can survive with the necessities and save a lot of money and time. So yes, thank you so much. You can follow Green Line on Instagram, Facebook, and also on YouTube. You can also get in touch with us. We have our email ID, our phone number. I will share it on the group. So if you face any difficulties while preparing Bioenzyme, feel free to contact us. We are always available. Thank you so much.
Mona Lisa, we can't hear you.
You're on mute, Mona Lisa.
Okay, so sorry. Oh my God. That was a wonderful session again, Prakriti. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but that was a great session. So now we'll just dive into the question. So first question we have is, can you heat the water so jaggery melts and dissolves easily into the water? So is that possible? Prakriti, you are on mute.
Sorry. So yes, you can heat the water and dissolve all the jaggery, but before adding the citric peels, make sure the water comes to the normal room temperature, and then you add the citric peels to it.
Okay.
Sorry, Monica, I want to just stop you in the middle. I would like to show my bioenzyme and the few concoctions that I've prepared. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, for containers, you can use such containers. They have a wide mouth. And in that case, you can simply pop the whole peel into it. Or otherwise, I normally use the Bisleri or Coca-Cola bottles. So for that, I chop them into such small pieces and then use it. It's a little time consuming, but it's okay. It's okay to invest a little time for your health and for our environment. Now, this is the bioenzyme that I've prepared. What I wanted to show you is it actually kind of got mixed, but yeah, if we add excess of yeast in the bioenzyme, after filtration, you will observe a very thin white layer on the bioenzyme liquid. So no need to worry about that. It's just that there is excess of yeast in the bioenzyme. That's the reason always put 1 or 2 pinches of yeast in the bioenzyme. If you're preparing a huge quantity of bioenzyme, then you can definitely increase the ratio of using yeast, maybe half a spoon. That's good to go. Now, this one I have prepared it today. You can see, okay, I have overloaded it, like very little gap is left behind it. Please don't do that. I have to be very careful while releasing the gas from this. So yeah, this is how it looks initially. Yeah, and I have another one. This is almost about to be ready. You can see the liquid and the pulp. The pulp has very well degraded, and yeah, they are two separate layers. All right, and also one more thing is how to release the gas. Now, what I normally do is I simply twist the cap, and let all the gases out of it. Did you all hear it? Yeah. So this is how I do it. Don't open the container and leave it unattended, because what happens is, because of the citric peels and the smell of it, it'll attract a lot of flies, and especially fruit flies. And if any fruit fly enters into this, they will lay their eggs, and you'll have larvae, and all of those issues will be in it. So make sure you are present when you release the gas, and immediately close the lid of it. Now, this is the one that I filtered recently and I've stored. And what I do is I normally prepare a separate liquid. This is a soap nut liquid. Soap nut is nothing but Rita. Yeah. So I normally soak this overnight and soak this in water overnight and then boil it and then remove the seeds from the soap nut and make crush the soap nuts properly to release all the saponins from that soap nut and then store that water in this so in case of storing soap nuts, I prefer to store it in the refrigerator because sometimes it can go bad also in case of soap nuts. And this is my vegetable. I'm trying to use it for cleaning my utensils and
Hello, Prakriti. Someone by mistakenly muted you. Please unmute yourself.
thank you, Aditya. So yeah, I was talking that this is the mixture I've made of soap nut and bioenzyme. I make in small batches and use it to clean my utensils. It is really good for cleaning utensils. I've been trying it for maybe 2 weeks now, and it's amazing. I love it. So this is my personal experience I'm sharing with you all. Yeah, and yes, about using the same ratio for taking all the measuring all the ingredients. I prefer to either use a bowl, or if you have a weighing scale, you're good to go. You can measure, like for example, if you have 300 grams of citrus peels, one part of jaggery, that means 100 grams of jaggery, and 1 liter, that is 1000 ml of water. So that is the ratio you can do. But always whenever you're trying to make bioenzyme, first measure the citrus peels that you have, because based on that only we will decide how much amount of jaggery and water we need. Always, so yes, if you have 1 liter ka container, like this is around 1 liter bottle, don't think that you can make 1 liter of bioenzyme into it. You cannot. The maximum amount of water you should technically add to a container, 1 liter container, is around 500 ml of water. That is it. So you know break down the ratios that way. Like, don't fill any container to the brim. That's my point. Yeah. All right, I'm done with showing all what I've been preparing.
Okay,
Thank
I
you. You
guess
can ask the questions. Yeah.
so. This was the most exciting part to know what compositions you've been preparing. So, well, with that, I think we'll start over again with the questions. The first question we had for you was if it is okay to heat the water and then melt the jaggery and dissolve the jaggery in that hot water.
So
So,
yes, it is okay to dissolve the jaggery in hot water. Yeah, just make sure the water comes back to the room temperature before adding the citrus peels to it.
okay. I hope that answers the question. Now, moving on to the second question. So, your someone asked us if we can grind the citrus peels, if that would be okay.
So I personally haven't tried grinding the citrus peels. I tried using the chopper we have at home, the string chopper, and that did not help. It did not chop my citrus peels at all. So I had to cut them. But definitely you can give it a try, grind and use it. But don't make a fine paste of it, because I don't know. I haven't tried grinding it, so I can't give any comments over it.
Okay, then we have our third question. So, you spoke about citric peels that should not be used in composting, biocomposting or vermicomposting, as it would create an acidic environment. So, someone has asked us whether you have checked it or personally compared the pH of the citric peels without the peels and with the peels in the compost.
So normally at home I do microbial composting. Adding 2-3 peels in in that compost is okay, but there are a lot of studies and research done over this that says that you should not add anything which makes the pH of the compost highly acidic, especially in terms of vermicomposting. Now, vermicomposting is nothing but composting using with the help of earthworms. Now, earthworms are very, very sensitive, and even a slightest amount of excess acidity in the pH, they perish away. So yeah, I know someone during my college time, one of my friend experimented and she did vermicomposting. She added few citrus peels to see what happens, and she lost all her earthworms. So that's how I can say that it's not recommended to add citric peels to the compost.
Okay, I hope that answers the query. And if not, maybe we will try it ourselves and do some experimenting with that.
What's available about this? I haven't checked the pH, but yes, a lot of articles or resources, if you see, they mention not to add anything which might increase the acidity of the compost to a very, very high level. Because compost should not be very acidic; it will not compost properly.
So in short, it is a mixture of alcohol, acid from the citrus, and some essence of lemon peels. Correct?
Yes, yes, yes. So if you're
So that
preparing bioenzyme using lemon, it will have a
Hmm.
little lemony taste,
Correct.
lemony flavor. Okay,
So
do
basically alcohol.
not drink the bioenzyme.
So it is a basically it is alcohol.
Yeah, it is alcohol plus vinegar ka mixture.
Correct.
Yeah. Also, one more point that if you have multiple types of citrus peels, you can mix them and use it. You don't need to make separate bioenzymes. If I have, suppose I have orange and lemon, I can mix those citrus peels and make one bioenzyme. It is completely okay. Just that the fragrance might differ, but as long as you are okay to go with it, it's completely all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope that answers. So now again, moving on to the other question. So one of the participant is been preparing bioenzyme from the previous batch, residual batch. They want to know that sometimes that batch settles down in 20 days. So should they think that it is totally done or should they wait for 30 days?
So what happened? The best way to know whether your bioenzyme is prepared or not is to check the gas formation. Now, I will show So 1 second. The moment you open the gas, little amount of moment you open the lid of the container, the little amount of gas is released. That means the fermentation process is not over. Now, what happens is for people, in times when we are preparing the bioenzyme for 90 days, maybe after a month or so, you will realize that there is no gas formation, and you might think that yes, the bioenzyme is ready, but no. Uh, if you're preparing it without any starter culture, that is either yeast or any old pulp, it will require 90 days. And the reason why so less gas is released is because the fermentation process is slow in that. But that is the best way to prepare your bioenzyme. Now, what I have done is I have prepared in lot bioenzyme using yeast. I've prepared in quantity. Now I have started collecting peels and now I'm letting it ferment for 3 months because that is the purest one. No amount of residual yeast will be left behind after the fermentation process. If we do it for 90 days.
Okay. Then I think that you should wait for 30 days itself to be confirming and then talk for the residual batch. Okay, well, if that answered the question, then we move on to the another question. What types of gases are released during like when we open the lid or bioenzyme preparation?
Majorly the gas which is released from that, this is carbon dioxide. There might be very, very small traces of CO3 or some, majority it's carbon dioxide, so it's not harmful. And it's not like we're not inhaling that. So it's majorly carbon dioxide which is released during the fermentation process.
Okay, well, I hope that has sufficed. And now, one question is, if they are preparing the second batch, if one has to prepare the second batch, so how much quantity of the starter culture or the first batch they should add? Like 2-3 spoons, is it okay to add 2-3 spoons for the?
Yeah. So this is the pulp. Okay, I use maybe 1 or 2 spoons to make in 1 liter container. I'll add 1 or 2 spoons, and it's more than enough. The remaining, I try to save my pulp and use it for other work also. Then, so yeah.
Okay. All right. So I hope like 2-3 spoons does the work then, depending if you are making it in a 1 liter quantity bottle or 1 liter quantity container. Then what you mentioned that bioenzyme can be used as insect repellent. So what component of the bioenzyme is exactly used as an insect repellent?
So I don't know what component it is, but as far as whatever I read about it, it's because of the smell. The insects repel because of the smell of it, and also because it has alcohol and vinegarish content in it. Insects repel. They will not die, but they will repel from it. But for this, you have to use it regularly.
Okay. So I think the regular thing can actually work. It's similar to we using certain disinfectants in our houses
Yeah.
regularly that repels insects.
Like even
Whereas,
if you use the Baygon or something, to get rid of cockroaches and all,
yeah,
it will be effective only for a short period of time. Then after that, again, we'll have to spray that.
right.
So yeah, that's the thing.
So maybe consecutive use of this bioenzyme can lead to repelling this insect and actually some or the other time absolutely not allowing them like you want to be there
Over
at
a
your place over
over
a period of time. Like, okay, so this is the next question is why can't one put a hold on the cap to let the gases out?
So the thing is, what happens is when we open the lid, the gases are let out, and at the same time, some oxygen enters the mixture. Now, if a lot of oxygen enters the mixture, like for example, you said, sorry, what did you mention the word?
That we can't put a hold on the cap to let the gases out. Can we put a hold on the cap?
Whole, you mean?
Hold. Can we hold on to the cap? I mean,
Uh,
this question is. I mean, even I'm not able to understand what exactly do you mean.
But, yeah, if whoever has posted the question, if I can
it
clarify.
may be it may be whole Prakriti.
Yeah, even I
Whole
think
in the yeah.
the thing
Yeah,
is, if there is a hole in the container, firstly, it will not be called as an airtight container anymore, and secondly, it will lead to uh, a lot of oxygen entering in the container. So that means there is constant supply of oxygen, and that will decrease the speed of fermentation. You
yeah.
know, and that's why it doesn't take time like during the first 1 or 2 weeks I open the container regularly for a minute while I'm working in the kitchen, and that's it. And after that I even forget that yes, I am preparing bioenzyme. Once in a blue moon I'm like, oh, I am preparing, I should release the gas out of the plastic container, otherwise that might burst. This is how I have been doing, but this is over constant use. I've understood when to open and when not to open. I've understood. So with experience, you all will definitely get a hold on it.
True. I mean, one has a different experience and different take at everything. That
Yeah.
they do. So, but initially, it is not very time consuming. Just open the cap and just fizz it out and just close it back again. Then next, we have like, can we after we have prepared the bioenzyme, can we store it in a glass container or glass?
After it's been prepared, you can store it in the glass container, the liquid. Yes, yes.
Okay.
But just make sure before you filter it out, zero amount of gas is left, because if a little bit of gas formation happens, the glass container might crack or even shatter open.
Right.
So yeah.
So, for the participant who had this question, I hope you have got this answer and you take the precaution of checking that if there are no gases in that. And also, secondly, moving on, we have can we use expired jaggery to prepare bioenzyme?
I have never heard of what is an expired jaggery, to be honest.
I
Like,
mean,
can you
yeah,
explain what happens is, especially during monsoon, if the jaggery packet or the container is not properly airtight, it will become a little watery, and it is cool to use that almost liquidy jaggery, because it happened the same with me. Some of my jaggery did melt, I would say, and I use a jaggery for making the bioenzyme. It's okay, but I have never heard of expired jaggery, so
jaggery.
I
True.
don't know why jaggery expire.
But yeah, if you think there are I mean expired jaggery, do use it and actually let us know if that created in any difference. Even we'll try to find out if that's a thing.
I would say, you can experiment it,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
the more we experiment, the more we learn, and it's actually fun to experiment and learn that way.
And it's not just we telling you or You are on the learning end, even we are on the learning end. So yes, please do that. Well, we'll move on to that. And okay, so we are using jaggery for preparing bioenzyme. Won't it attract ants?
uh, we are closing the container very tightly. Even when we store jaggery in a container, it doesn't attract ant as long as it's outside the container. So it will not attract ants. But yeah, if you leave the cap open, it might attract ants or other insects also. So yeah.
Closing the lid is the key, my friend. Closing the lid is the key. Let's save this all. So, well, next we have is how long will the soap nut liquid last in refrigerator and without getting spoiled?
In the refrigerator, it doesn't. So the thing is, I haven't tried to store it for a really long time. I prepare in short batches, and I use like I prepare my shampoo also using that liquid, so my soap and liquid gets over quickly. But I think over a month or two should be fine.
I mean, depends on how much
Yeah,
quantities you
what
bring.
I normally do is, in 1 liter of water, I add 15 to 20 soap nuts and soak it overnight. And the next day, I remove the pulp from it and boil that. After boiling, I remove the pulp and all the essence from the soap nut. So, and then I store, after cooling, I store it in the refrigerator. So, for a month or two, it should work.
Okay. So I think you can, if you
Yeah,
try the
even
same
for
version.
starters, you can prepare less, maybe in half a liter, maybe 5, 6 soap nuts, and that will get over. You can even use it for washing hands if you're not, using it any other purposes.
Right,
It's
right.
nothing but natural soap. Soap nut it's a natural soap.
So yes, give it a try. And like, do not buy in bulk, since if you are a beginner, do not buy in bulk. You do not know what to use for.
Buy in 100 grams or something.
Yeah, that should maybe work. Now, so next question we have is do we have to use fresh citric peels only, or do we use stored peels also? Can we use stored
So,
peels?
what like uh, there are it depends, if you want to collect it over a period of time and use it, you can do it. But for storing, either you put it in the refrigerator, but the best option is to put it in the freezer, because the moment your peels are freezed, nothing will happen to it. No fungus, no fungal growth will be there, no insects will be attracted to it. So put it in the freezer and you can use it after. Like, I store my peels every day and I use it like in 15 days. I make one batch of bioenzyme, so that's okay. The storing in the freezer is the best way.
Okay, I guess the previous question of amount of soap nut using was by Krupali ma'am, if I'm not wrong, because she just mentioned in the chat box that she asked this question about because her soap nut shampoo got fermented when she opened the bottle and it
What
ruined her
happened?
bathroom cleaning. Yeah,
What happened? I did not get the
it got
question.
fermented. I mean,
Yeah, that's the reason I keep like store the soap nut water in the refrigerator. The bioenzyme we don't need to store in the refrigerator, but soap nut, yes. Yeah.
okay, I hope that will help. I mean, from next time if you try. Then we have the next question is Prakriti. I used a few granules of yeast, but there is no gas formation. Just had on the first, just there was one some gas formation on the first day. So is that an issue?
No, no, that's not an issue. If you actually depends on how much amount of how much quantity of bioenzyme you've prepared. In 1 liter bottle, if you prepared half, maybe 500 ml of bioenzyme, like all your contents are half, one or two pinches are enough. But if you're preparing it in little more quantity, then you can increase the quantity of yeast also. And if don't worry about the gas formation, it will take time. That's completely okay.
So it's all about trying and trial and error, guys. It's all about trying and error. Error.
Initially, when I didn't know how much yeast to add, I added like half a spoon of yeast, and then at the end, after filtering, my bioenzyme, a white film was formed on top of it. So I was worried, like what happened. Then I inquired about it, and they said it's nothing. It's just the residual yeast that has formed a layer on top of it. So it's completely okay.
So it just few granules should be fine when you're using the yeast, right?
Yeah.
If you're
For making
so
small batches, a few granules are more than enough.
it's like just few, even if it's like a few pinch and one pinch, right, rather.
Two, yeah, 1 or 2 pinches is fine.
Okay.
If
So
you
if
want
that's the measurement.
to add more, it's actually trial and error. It's from our own experiences we learn it.
So it's a Indian system of pinch measurement. So it just एक चुटकी दो चुटकी डालो. I think that should work if you're going with yeast. If not, then the 90 days formula works just fine. Then we move on again with the same similar question that you mentioned earlier. If we can add the pulp to the compost, but if by mistake the citric in the pulp raises the pH, can we dilute that in the bottle itself?
You
Like
can
can we dilute?
Yeah. So what happens is, initially our lemon or any citric peels will have high amount of they'll be highly acidic, but after fermentation, most of it is released into the liquid, that is a bioenzyme liquid. So if we can add that, we can squeeze that pulp and add it to the compost. It's fine. I would say, like, I don't add it to my compost. I grind it, or if my pulp is really fine, I clean my toilet or add it in the sink to maybe remove the blockage from the sink or any basin or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you should be fine with adding the pulp and it shouldn't create a problem. Then next we have what other use is there of the leftover citrus peel beside acting as a propellant for a new batch of bioenzyme?
Okay, so you mean the pulp, the
Yeah,
remaining.
the pulp. What do you use the citrus pulp for other than using as the next batch starter? As
I
a other than
mentioned earlier, you can use that pulp for cleaning for uh, maybe you're unblocking the drains, or even add it to the compost if you want, or even like if you want to add to the plants, dilute it to a very very high ratio and use it. Or also you can just simply discard the pulp if you don't have any other use, but I prefer using every bit of it. So use it to clean everything. I have stopped using Harpic entirely. I only use the pulp or the bioenzyme liquid. That's it.
and that's a way to go, guys. Like we even if we start doing it, I think we'll also reach Prakriti
Yeah,
stage some or the other point.
start doing it. Actually, the lockdown proved really beneficial because I was
Yeah.
able to experiment and try it like a lot of content is available on the internet on different uses of bioenzyme, but then we are always dicey ki, should I use this or should I not. So this is my experience. There
Mm.
were articles which said that you all can even use it to wash your hair, but like mix soap nut and bioenzyme. I have tried that also, and my personal experience was not good because I not my the texture of my hair, it became really hard. So I don't use it as my shampoo, but I use for other purposes. That's okay. For
Okay.
personal use, always make a very small batch and try it out. Otherwise, if it doesn't suit you, do not try it. Do not use it. But
Okay.
for cleaning, we can. It doesn't. It's not directly related to us.
Well, I'll just deviate slightly from the question because I have to just mention what I read in the chat by Krupali ma'am. She said, "Prakriti, you motivate me to conserve Prakriti." So yes, Krupali ma'am, she's been
Thank you so
motivating all of
much,
us, and thank you so much for that. So yes, that was a very nice comment, and thank you so much. This motivates us to even do something more.
yeah.
And yes, Prakriti, you've been motivating us a lot recently. So
So I will repeat a very quick recap. The ratio, that is your formula जो अपन
yeah.
बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, a+a² + b² equal to a plus, sorry, I'm so sorry, I messed up the formula, sorry, but it's like a math formula. This is a very simpler one. It's one part of jaggery, 3 parts of citrus peels, and 10 parts of water. That's it what we need to prepare the bioenzyme. Always use a plastic container. Also, I noticed in the chat there was a question which read that the metal will corrode, and so will the plastic not corrode.
Yeah.
Thing is, it doesn't corrode. Metal plastic is a byproduct of a lot of processing and everything. It's made from crude oil and other processes happen after that. So plastic does not corrode. Metals do corrode. So that's the reason always recommended to prepare the bioenzyme in plastic containers. So all those old Pepsi bottles or Bisleri bottles we have, use that for preparing bioenzyme. At the moment, I'm running out of plastic containers. So I'm looking out ways how to source it. Let's see.
Yeah. So, well, that was our next question about the metal container and the plastic container. And exactly, metal does corrode on the surfaces. Use and normally also, I think even if we use anything citrusy cheap to store in the metal, we come to see the stains and blobs on the patches. That is corroding our metals. If you do not know how it looks like, that's how it looks like. There will be patches and yellowing on the surface. And then next we have, can we use jaggery powder?
Yeah, you can use jaggery powder. You can use the whole jaggery. Just make sure you chop it into small pieces before adding it to the water.
Okay.
And lastly, you can even use brown sugar. Make sure it's brown sugar, not the regular white sugar which you get in the market. Do not use the white sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Any
that's the alternative to jaggery then.
yeah.
So now any similar alternative to toothpaste? Well,
Okay.
we'll come to that.
Yeah.
Should
So
we
for
or should we just stop it?
the other alternative is the best alternative is using that neem stick or datul, because usme you don't even need a toothbrush or not even a toothpaste. So
Exactly.
the purpose solved, and even if you discard that stick away, it will degrade over time. It is that natural. But there are alternatives of toothpaste on YouTube using neem powder with some clove powder and many other things. I have personally not tried that out, so I can't suggest. And
And there are also some videos
yeah. Sorry.
on making. There's also some videos on making toothpaste powder as such, but
Yeah.
we don't know how effective or how good it is or bad it is. It's always different experience with everyone. So can't really comment on how effective it would be. But if you are trying or if you know someone did, then do definitely get back to us and tell us that if that has happened, and we'll
It's for every person, the experience is different. For
yeah.
example, I have someone who has tried to use the neem datun and she got ulcers in her mouth. So I don't know, like it depends on how we use it also. I alternately use the neem datun as such. So that's okay. It takes time to adapt to the taste of the
Right.
neem,
So
but
bitter, but yes,
okay.
bitter but effective.
If we can take a kadwa medicine, we can
Yes.
definitely clean our teeth. And there are people have tried using making toothpaste powder using soda also. I
Yes,
personally
absolutely.
am not keen on using it because it's soda and that will react with the calcium in our teeth. So that can eventually uh, corrode. I mean, not corrode, but yeah, decrease the calcium deposits in our teeth. I wouldn't.
Okay, guys, I know. I mean, everyone. I'm sorry, and I'm grateful that you are still behind. We know we have over reached our timing. It's 6:05, but bear with us. It's getting interesting, and we definitely want to cover all the questions. So next we have is suppose by mistake we soak for a longer than 1 month the bioenzyme for say three or 4 months. So what happens then?
Nothing will happen. It is completely okay. Nothing will happen. The pulp and the liquid will be there. Nothing will happen. If you want, you can open the lid and check it. There's in gas formation, because what happens is even the slightest amount of fermentation, if it is left behind, it will happen over a period of time. So
Right.
I normally don't immediately use the bioenzyme after 3 months, after the 1 month period. I wait for a week or two. One reason is because I don't have time to filter it immediately, but otherwise I let it be there and use it on my own convenience. So there's another tip to how to store the pulp if you don't want to keep it in the refrigerator. What I do is now if I let this pulp outside for longer, it'll get a little darker shade. So whatever container I'm using, the bottle, I let the pulp in that bottle itself if I'm not using it immediately, and I leave a little amount of bioenzyme liquid also in that. So because the liquid is also present with the pulp, Nothing will happen to the pulp. It will be as it is outside the refrigerator. This is my personal experience. I've been doing it for some time now.
Okay. So one of the participants had just commented on the chat box that they've been using soda and salt for toothpaste as the paste, and they've been not using paste at all, and their teeth are perfect.
That's
And
great.
their teeth are perfect actually, and they don't. I mean, that's the Daksha.
I think I will
Yeah,
try it out. Maybe in future I'll try it out. Thank
yeah,
you so much for telling us your practical experience, Daksha, because even I was little dicey on using soda on my teeth. Yeah.
yeah.
Said like
Same
we should consume the least amount of soda we can, because at the end it
here.
affects our bones over the long period of time. So yeah.
Also, I think, during my growing up years, I mean, my mother used to tell me to use a little pinch of oil, like soap tail, I mean, mustard oil, and a little pinch of salt, and brush your teeth with that. And that, I think, I have used it, and that actually works absolutely fine with the odor, with the taste. I suppose that people might have taste with problem with that
But
mustard
I
oil.
think that's okay, because the taste is only a 1 or 2 minute issue, but what matters is the long term effect on us and the environment.
I think that gives us perfect shining teeth, set of teeth, and beautiful smile. So you can definitely try, and we can definitely add soda. And I think we'll see that next time. We'll try to do that.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Daksha,
your
ma'am.
suggestion.
And last question we have for the day is any alternative to shampoo?
So, in case of shampoo, have switched from the normal shampoo to Amla, Rita, and Shikakai ka shampoo. So, either you can buy the powdered Amla, Rita, Shikakai and mix all in equal quantities. Boil that in some amount of water, thoroughly boil it for quite some time, and let it soak in the water overnight before using. That is how I use my shampoo. Or otherwise, I've even tried preparing it from solid the solid pieces of amla, rita, shikakai. It is little time consuming, but that is more effective, because I know I am using the direct natural products, because the powdered ones I'm not sure if something else is mixed to it. Depending on how much time I have to prepare it or not, I alternate between that. Actually, if you check on YouTube, right, there are a lot of recipes on how to prepare the shampoo using amla, rita, and shikakai. Yeah.
So I
I
think we have. I mean,
and that's my personal preference. What I normally do is, if I've oiled my hair, I wash that oil off using a soap, and then I use the for second round I use the shampoo which I've prepared, because the shampoo doesn't. It takes a lot of time and washes to remove the excess oil. So one wash using a soap and one wash using the shampoo. That's my personal preference.
I think that covers the question. And yes, of course, that's the age-old technique of using Idicha, Amla, and Shikakai.
Actually,
And
if we notice all these practices, uh, the ways to reduce the waste in our house are the practices which were there in the past. Now people are switching to using the wood ash, that is a rack, to clean the utensils. And that is what people used to use in the past. I asked my grandmother, like, क्या use करते थे आप लोग पहले? They were like, हम लोग राख use करते थे. Market में, people used to sell that. And the best thing is, it is, it's a very big myth that more the latter or more the foaming, that means it is cleaning well. It is a
very,
very
yeah.
conception, because if you switch to using soap nut, it will lather, but not so much like the regular soap. But that doesn't mean it is not cleaning. It does the cleaning process pretty well. So that's the thing.
So
Soap
I
nut
think
has its own uses. Like people have been using soap nut, only soap nut to wash their clothes also. So yeah.
so. I think with that, this was a lovely session, and not only did Prakriti tell us how to prepare bioenzyme, she told us how we can go back to our roots and start doing it ourselves. Like she said in the last slide, the major problem or the major hurdle is to start. So until we start, we would never know how we should go about it. and the major motivation is how we can start. And I think Prakriti has covered and motivated us all to put that start. And in this lockdown, I think I can rightly say it was just about understanding the bare necessity that we need to live and not about the luxury. And so, lastly, not lastly, I would like to leave you with the thought that let's just put a thought and a conscious mind towards everything that we've been doing, from our smallest habits to our daily work. That what is the purpose of it? What we are getting it, and do we, especially when we are buying things or we are selling things, do we actually need it? Like there's a difference in needing things and comfort, when things that give us comfort, so they are separate, okay? And I think in this quarantine we've known that it's not all about the comfort but about the bare necessity. So just let's just stick to the bare necessity. Oh my god, so sorry. Necessities. And I think lastly we can just say that if we are all moving towards a sustainable lifestyle, if you're all talking about sustainability and conserving the earth, doing better for the planet, it is not just about the greens, it's about the small habits that we have. So make changes in your habits, and that's how you make changes in your lifestyle. So let's all come together and make our way to small sustainable habits. And with that, thank you so much. You were such a pleasant crowd and such patient crowd as well. I'm sorry if we took your time a little over than the due time. Thank you so much for being a lovely participant. And thank you so much for staying with us and being a part of this lovely evening. Thank you. Have a great evening and a great weekend, guys. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
We will also be sharing a feedback form in the group. You all can give in your feedback, and I really recommend everyone to start saving all the citric peels in the house and prepare bioenzyme. Trust me, it's an amazing process. It is only the start that is needed. Go ahead, everyone. All the best.
All the best, everyone. And thank you.
Thank you.
A big shout out to our backstage heroes. On behalf of Team Know Your Surroundings and Team Green Line, I thank all of you all to take some time out of your busy schedule and learn how to prepare bioenzymes. Hope you all enjoyed this and will definitely prepare the bioenzyme at home. Thank you.